What's going on, guys? Nick Friel here, founder of Media Simplified and the Loan Officer Playbooks. And we are going over probably the most coveted module to date, which is the hiring and recruiting play for finding A-plus players and recruiting loan officers. This is the one that we get asked about the most. And there is a ton of information that we can cover around this topic. So I'm really going to try and keep this tactical and down to, the actual steps that we can take, not only to find loan officers, but how to onboard, train, etc. So I'm going to do my best to fit all this information in, but there is a ton of information down here below on how you can, set up your brand and your presence and everything, and really do a lot before we even start looking for talent. So I'm going to let you kind of go over that on your own time. But what we are going to stick to are the actual tactics that we want to go over on how to, recruit. So one thing is that there is a conceptual video with this. Make sure you watch this conceptual video first. This will give you a good groundwork on kind of what to expect, what you need to have in place. And then once you watch that, you can dive into the playbook here. But a module overview. So what we're going to be doing is, one, obviously showing you where to kind of locate talent, but two, really laying the foundation so that when you find talent, when you find a loan officer that actually wants to join the team, that you have a system that they can easily plug into and hit the ground running on day one. So we're going to be creating an onboarding course that they can plug into ASAP. They can run these playbooks for themselves. We're going to be able to provide them branding, websites, assets, scripts and sales training, and then we're going to start them on the colder lists from there. So to dive straight into it, the first thing I want to kind of cover, because I know it's the thing that people are going to be most intrigued about, is where you actually find the talent. So we're going to dive into that first, and there's really one simple answer, and that is going to be LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is where, all of these people are going to be. It's the platform that's most set up to do this. So what we want to do is we have really two viable options here. You're going to have the LinkedIn premium option. I like this because you can really, test this out without even needing to pay for the premium option. And then you have the advertising option, which most people don't realize, but you can advertise on LinkedIn just like you can on Facebook or TikTok or anything else. So we're going to talk about the premium option first. So we're going to come over to LinkedIn and actually go ahead and set this up. So when you're signing up for the LinkedIn, you'd actually sign up in a way where you want to, you kind of choose the goal. So for you, you'd want to hire talent. We want to receive alerts. We want to easily find talent. And get candidate recommendations. All right. So we get a free 1 month trial. So we're going to accept now. All right. And then you will have to put payment information in, but you don't have to actually pay anything. So then we're going to go, and now we have the premium access to LinkedIn. We're just going to continue. All right. And now that we have access to these things, there's going to be a ton of tools that we can use to optimize and get ourselves set up. But really, we want to focus on the advanced filters workflow. So we're going to come here to advanced search. All right, so what we're going to do is most basic way we can utilize the premium features is we're going to say mortgage loan officer. And now the nice part about this is that LinkedIn gives you the ability to filter this down even further. So we can go based off of only off of people. Then we can do all the way to the 3rd degree. And we should be also able to do filter for people open to work. Yeah, so if we hit this all filters here, we can come down and there will be an option that says, we can check like this, that says open to work. We can check that and even save, show our results and save our filters. And obviously we're going through to message anybody that is showing open to work. So we can use that method of the advanced search. You can also come to prospects who follow similar pages as yours and find prospects there. You can view people who have viewed your site. I mean, there's a ton of ways that you can utilize LinkedIn to hire. If you go in here, you could do hire on LinkedIn, find and attract, post a job for free. So I'm not going to go into like the intricacies of exactly what to do, because honestly, any of these will work, whether you're going active or passive strategies. Coming in here and utilizing the premium features can really, really assist you in getting more visibility to those people. And then obviously using active outreach strategies. So we have the templates right here. You can use the templates in here to message these people and see if they're a good fit. The positioning is obviously that, hey, we have a system, we have something that you can plug right into and get started right away. And that should make it very attractive for someone who is, looking to join a new team. So that's going to be option 1, is the LinkedIn premium option, using the premium services to be able to use those advanced filters and find those people who are open for work. And then the next option is going to be more of a paid option, and that's going to be the actual advertising option. So like I said, a lot of people don't realize this, but on LinkedIn, you can actually advertise just like you would on Facebook or, anywhere else. There's a back end. You can set up, campaigns and, everything that you need. So I recommend running a very, simple lead gen type campaign, setting up a lead gen form. Come back to the membership here. Like I said, I'm not going to go over the intricacies. I have included, better videos here that'll walk you through like how to set up a LinkedIn ad step by step. But pretty much the overview is that we want to use the campaign objective job applicants or, lead generation, industry, obviously mortgage. The location is going to be important where we're looking. And then the big thing on this is that we want to call out our copy right there, at the top. So anybody that's clicking on this with the headline saying loan officers in, Jacksonville, Florida, looking for a new home, or looking for a new place to hang your license, scale your career with us today. So that's a sharp headline that obviously if it's someone that clicks on this ad that says, hey, loan officers in this area, are you looking for a new place to hang your license? Scale your career with us today. If they click on that, most likely, they're a loan officer that's looking to change companies. So that's kind of the secret sauce there, is call out who we're looking for in, the first thing in the headline. Like that's everything. If someone's clicking on this, that means they're probably the right person. The body, we want to really emphasize the fact that they can plug in seamlessly and scale. So we hit on, how we have pre-qualified leads, CRM, tech support, proven systems to allow them to hit the ground running. Basic call to action. And then we can do this with either sponsored content, images and videos, or sponsored messaging. But I recommend just going lead gen form, using Zapier to put it straight into your GrowSimple account. And you can obviously retarget, re-engage, do all of those things. But main thing is whether you're using just the premium options, having LinkedIn do it for you, or if you're advertising wherever you're spending your time recruiting, it should be done on this site using one of these options. So this is kind of first order of business is finding the talent. Then next big order of business, which in my opinion really should be the first order of business, but everyone wants the sauce up front. And that's going to be like, what do we do once we actually get someone who we want to hire? So before we've even gone to LinkedIn and started outreach, we really should have a foundation kind of created on what our first hire is going to go through. They should be able to hit the ground running as soon as they, start on with you. So we want to think through like what kind of paperwork, what kind of, the emails we need to set up for them, any assets, business cards, anything like that. We want to think all that through, write it down on paper first. So to make this easy and to give you a template, we have created a membership, and that's what you're going to do to make your life so much easier once you start recruiting and hiring, so that you're not having to pour in a ton of time and energy every time you bring on a new hire. We've created, if you're using the system, our CRM system here, this is in your account currently. If you go to marketing, if you go to sites and then come here to memberships, and then up here at the top, you're going to come to products, and you'll see this will be here in your account. So this is going to be your new loan officer onboarding and training portal. This is going to be what, as soon as someone starts with you, they're going to plug in here and get, everything that you need done. So obviously it's kind of laid out in a way where you can come in, customize, change, but pre-templated where we'll have their employment paperwork, any technology and accounts they need to set up, any compliance and licensing things they need to do, day-to-day workstation, meetings, flow, calendar, etc. Welcome packet, knowing about the company, the loan products, etc. Then, which I think you will like, is that once they've, plugged into all that, we want them to be able to, gain momentum and be excited about working with you. We don't want them to be kind of dragging ass, so to speak. We want them to feel like every day they're getting better, they're getting closer to their goals. And a big part of that is going to be having them go through the 5 previous playbooks that you went through. And those are already available right here in your membership or in your training portal for them. So once they do all of the onboarding stuff, you can have any other, additional sales content or, how to call your leads, what lists to call. This is all kind of on you to flush out what they need to go through. But a great place for them to start would be coming into the playbooks. They can start getting reviews. They can start reaching out to realtors, like everything that you just completed, they can do for themselves. It's going to make them more knowledgeable. It's going to give them a better, a better online presence, make them more visible. And ultimately it's going to get them really excited about working with you, because they're going to be doing things that, they've been in the business maybe for a few years and they've never taken the time to do. You're giving them a way where they can come in and plug and play and make their, branding and their videos and everything a whole lot better, which in the long term is going to be a huge benefit to you as well. So this is a huge thing that I would recommend is that you come in and you flush out this training portal so that every new person comes in and goes through this. It's very simple to do. You just come to products, and then from here, you come in and you can update each thing. If you want to add a video, you can upload a video. You add, any images, text that you want down here, hit save, and you're good to go. So very self-explanatory on the build, but coming back to the module here, this gives you a structure where at least once you have the bones up, you can really start adding to it. So up to this point, we've talked about how we can use LinkedIn to find these people. The goal is to just land one, proof of concept, get one good loan officer in. Once we get them in, we've discussed that we need to have kind of an onboarding training for them to hit the ground running with right away, so that everything is set up and they're making progress every day. We're going to have them go through the playbooks as far as getting social reviews, setting up their social media foundation, setting up their branding, running the website funnel playbook, and then running the realtor referral playbook to establish the same base that you have, and really making sure that we're doing all of this, properly the first time around. So once we have that onboarding kind of bones set up, we're going to be getting into training. So now this is a huge thing that a lot of people are, not very familiar with, but this can be very easy. So the first goal is to just get them comfortable on the phone. So before we even have them making calls, do some role play with them on how their, call ones should go. And we want to have them start by calling colder leads, maybe leads that are in your hot list, not applications or anything like that, but just leads we're trying to get set up. And their full goal up front should just be to set you appointments. So we can give them a goal of making about 50 calls a day, trying to set you appointments that you can take over and, do the actual appointment with. So we're having them do, that first bit of setting, making lots of calls, lots of volume to, once again, get them comfortable on the phone. So to start, they're going to be listening to you each time you have one of these appointment calls. So you want to have a nice script that they can follow. If you're a great salesperson, that's awesome, but it's only great if you can replicate it. So we want to have a script that they can follow, that they can, repeat themselves, but they're going to listen to the calls they set for you. They're going to listen to you take them, take notes, study, and do as many reps of that as possible. Once they have heard you take enough calls, they are going to set appointments for themselves, and they're going to take the appointment call. And then you're going to actually listen in. So first you were taking the calls, they were listening in. Now they're taking the calls, you're listening in after each call, giving them feedback on what they could do better, how they can improve these things, so on and so forth. Then once they've taken enough calls, you're going to start feeling confident in them. They can actually begin taking calls without you. And what do you know? You have a sales engine that is fully functional without you. So once you get to that point, we want to make sure that we go ahead and maybe increase their ad spend, bump them up to a hotter paid lead source. But we really want to make sure that these people have a way to, one, get comfortable on the phone, and you have a list or a protocol that they follow daily to get phone calls in, and two, to kind of wean them on to doing the entire thing themselves. Because the whole premise of this is that, I don't know if you saw it at the top, we want to be able to create A+ talent. And if we can create A+ talent, we won't have to compete for it. So we want to be able to create killers, and this is a process that can do that. You're going to wean them onto, being able to close by themselves. And I plead with you on this first time around, if you do it right, just document every single thing that you and the new trainee do. You have the onboarding, you'll have this membership set up that you can constantly go back in, add things to, and update. But if you do this right the first time around, you won't have to retrain everyone from scratch each time you get a new LO. Every time you bring on a new LO, you should have more documentation in the training so that the next person that comes in needs even less hand-holding. So you're going to document everything the first time. It's all going to be going in the training portal you're putting together. You're going to have the trainee take notes on everything that they found, helpful, anything they found confusing. And they should constantly be giving you feedback and helping you update the onboarding and training portal. So all of that feedback that they're taking, all of the insights that you're getting, all going into the training portal. And we're doing this as much as possible the first time around so that you don't have to train someone, spend all this time and energy, and then you turn around and you realize none of it was documented, and you're going to have to still do all of that from scratch. So The whole goal is just get one killer. We need one person that can come in, they plug into our onboarding, they go through, do the playbooks, they get a good foundation, they start, setting appointments, we get them through, start getting them closing. And if we can get a person like that kind of groomed and ultimately ready to start closing deals, and even further, get them closing deals and make them successful, this is going to be a huge, huge engine for you to land more loan officers. More than anything else, getting one A+, killer, great loan officer, whatever you want to call it, getting one A+ loan officer who does well with your company is going to be the biggest engine that you could ask for to grow your team. Because you're going to be able to turn around and say, hey, look what Steve did in his first 6 months with us. He's already closed X amount of deals. He's already made X amount of money. Like, that's going to speak volumes and say so much more than, any of these kind of little hacks and tactics could do. So having that one killer is a huge asset. And that's what we need to do, is just focus on getting someone, putting them through, putting our emphasis and our energy into this one time, and putting it, so that we're not going to be able to do it fully automated, but we got to go through this at least once. So let's make it so it's only one time. We don't have to do this again, when we bring in the next loan officer. And not only are we going to get an A+ loan officer out of this, but we're going to document the entire thing. So we have an onboarding and training that allows us to rinse and repeat and do this time and time again. All right. So those are the tactical things that I would recommend. Like I said, there's still so much more that we could cover on this topic, but I think it's really important to cover these couple of things, which would be, where are we getting these people, which we talked about, using LinkedIn in any, really any of the ways that you see fit. Once we get them, we need to make sure they have an onboarding and training portal that they can plug into right away. We want to make sure that we are setting up the training in a way where they can start with a manageable, amount of the call, just getting comfortable on the phones, and then working them all the way up to, from taking 20% of the call and you doing 80% to them doing 50% of the call and you doing 50%, to them doing, 75 and you only doing 25, to the point where eventually they're taking the calls completely by themselves, and you're documenting everything along the way to continue updating that onboarding and training. And then, once we get that one killer, we go ahead and we shout this from the rooftops. We have the proof of concept. We can, bring people in and know we can help them grow their career. And this can be a huge asset for you. So this part should be taken just as seriously as your lead gen. If you're serious about growing a team, your inbound funnel and your inbound training and portal and all that needs to be just as clean as, your lead processors are. When you get a new lead that fills out an app, you have a whole system and a whole chain of events that goes off. It should be the same thing for your recruiting. So let's think about starting to systemize this. And you don't have to overcomplicate it. Like, getting people in won't be hard if you leverage the right tools. So it's really just a matter of laying that foundation and making sure that you're ready for it. So beyond that, go through the rest of these little tactics and hacks and things that you can do to better prepare your websites and profiles and whatnot for these people. But that is going to be everything for right now for the hiring and recruiting play. I hope you found this one helpful, and we will see you on the next one.